Hello folks, well, since I seen your video about what's your complaints about, this is a really response to RandomYoko, and I'm talking about this, even though I never seen you doing the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, but I will tell you something about this. The article that, the video that I saw is about an article in Washington Post. People are just don't misunderstand of this. Finally, folks, I could do to have my ways on things. Now we're talking about the article about Yasuku Uriki, a baseball player from Japan, from the New York Mets, being suspended on steroids. Is written in the New York Times to be true? Is it true? And you believe it's true? Let me tell you in reality that article in the New York Times about the Japanese player who got suspended for using steroids from the New York Mets. The truth is actually bullshit. You know what is bullshit? Because the guy never uses steroids, so the New York Times was just, being so sneezy, and then they just saying, oh look, he's using steroids. They suspend him because, what it is, they say that Japanese athletes use steroids. In reality, the number one users of performance enhancement drugs out of Asia, the number one users in the Major League Baseball of the Asian baseball players are from Korea, and it's true. All of them use PEDs, and they never say a thing. Maybe they get suspended, and that's why you have to do like the Major League Baseball to go, drug test every Korean baseball player before going to Major League Baseball. But if the article was saying, but the day that the New York Yankees won the World Series, I will tell you about it. They'll say in the New York Times, there will be a New York Times article that Masahiro Tanaka, Ichiro Suzuki, and Hiroko Kuroda are founded guilty, and they found suspicious that they used and tested positive for steroids or HGH or any performance enhancement drugs, right? Well, while this would go in when the other New York team, that's what I would say. Let the New York Post say that the Koreans are using steroids if they're playing in the New York Mets. So, what if there are Korean baseball players playing in the New York Mets in there? Then those says the New York Mets have these Korean baseball players are pure talent, while these 3 Japanese baseball players are suspended from the Yankees because they're using performance enhancement drugs, and then it says the Koreans are clean. But what if this article would be written in the New York Times? It's bullshit, that's true. That's something true to talking about, right? And there's always these things about this going so anti-Japanese that I believe the 9 people that participated in ISIS from Japan are actually from Korea. Why they are from Korea? Because there will start something, unite both Koreas to do the same thing in Japan of what they did in Bosnia. Maybe converting, and probably tear down the Yasukuni Shrine or convert the Yasukuni Shrine to become an Islam mosque in that kind of way, and that way that Middle Easterns could conquer all over Japan and change its name, so we could be messed up. In the Ebola case, well, who might be happier to see the Japanese being suffer from Ebola? You know, China and Korea. China and Korea. That's right. China and Korea will say, "Whoa, that's a great blessing. It's a gift from God." That's the only reason why, you know. And then this is what it is to go that way. But then thanks to the Ebola virus, now if I were the president, I would do this. Form this new hybrid weapon to combine a hybrid disease, combine Ebola, AIDS, and cancer. You know, that it will the victim will only have 12 hours to live. You know, this is called biological warfare, right? You know, this try to protect Japan and try to protect the United States and allies that count from these terrorist groups like ISIS. Like ISIS spreads to Korea, well, maybe we'll call ISIC, you know, ISIC because, or ISK, you know, it is one thing for sure, and the reason why, if we're gonna deal with this thing, ISK, it's pretty soon to be called ISK. Well, it is something that biological weapons are necessary to, you know, with this Ebola thing, you know, use this to have the if ISIS control all of Korea and spread into China and become like some kind of nation, the Islamic states of China and Korea, you know, then we'll be forming a biological weapon with a combination of, you know, with a combination of AIDS, cancer, and Ebola. So the person could get attacked by this weapon with the contribution between the United States and Japan, and have Britain in there. But, you know, I don't know about this, because I hope this thing would work. That this new biological weapon with that, when these people get contracted in China and Korea under the control of the Islamic State, could be, you know, infected by them, and, you know, they're not gonna get the cure. They only have 12 hours to live, and when they have 12 hours to live, they get eliminated. That way is like this kind of biological warfare, you know, to have this hybrid disease that is combined with AIDS, Ebola, and cancer. Maybe it is the only reason to defeat ISIS when it spreads from Korea and China. Then maybe using that weapon in Saudi Arabia, and, you know, or maybe they have to surrender, to, you know, give up and change their ways, so, you know, give chance to Christianity, or in the Arabic countries and Iraq and all that stuff, or we could live in peace together, and that's their main goal, because that is the main thing. Why is the reason to have a need to create a biological weapon to attack Japan? Not Japan, to attack Korea and China when they are under the control of an Islamic state. That this new nation is from Iraq, Syria, China, Korea, and probably parts of Saudi Arabia. That this weapon would protect the citizens from this by using this combination of disease, a hybrid disease that is combined with AIDS, Ebola, and cancer. So the person could have 12 hours to live. So even though when we have 12 hours to live, and then after that, after these people die of this new disease, that they have 12 hours to live in those, when there is part of this of the Islamic State Union. Well, that means China, Korea, and parts of Syria and Iraq, and maybe who knows where it's going to spread. Then people could change and have peace, and we could get peace until, the only thing we could do is create a new biological weapon. That's it. And that's the reason why I believe that this thing was going on. You're feeding the demon. The demon is ISIS. The demon is ISIS. I think you're right, Yoko, about the demon is ISIS. Because we have to be prepared and think, know that with ISIS, ISIS could go and control Korea, both North and South Korea, and attack Japan any moment, and then might use nuclear weapon to attack the United States, because the only reason is for creating a new biological weapon with this Ebola in her hands is that it will only affect the Islamic State Union when it's formed by China, Korea, Syria, and Iraq of a disease that the victim could have 12 hours to live, and that's it. And that's the only reason we could conquer peace. That's it. Goodbye. And I know what it is, but please, I think we could settle in there. You want to know about me or whatever, I just have left off a book that I have to write what it is, but I know how things could work. This is how the world works. I'm sick and tired of these people talking BS, talking shit, excuse me, and what it is that I love your video about what happened with the mistakes of Washington Post. The Koreans are going to favor ISIS when they see a Japanese person being beheaded, and then they'll say they'll back off against the coalition and favor ISIS. That's it. That's the one thing we could make sure why the Ebola thing is very essential and important to create a hybrid disease that is combined with Ebola, cancer, and AIDS, so the individual could contact this disease from the biological weapon to have a life to live for 12 hours. It has to be tested on animals. You want to test a rat or a monkey 12 hours. If they die in 12 hours, that means the weapon works. That means that we could start fighting ISIS when they spread when they controlled Korea, China, and Iraq and Syria. That's it. Take care. See you soon, and please write a video response about this. Bye.